Evening all, and welcome to episode 106 of Kerbalism. Now last time we left this wonderful device here not working, and I've managed to fix it. It was a very simple fix which I didn't quite realise, but yeah, as you can see it is now in back at it, all working. We are building nitrogen up. It's going to take 8 days to fill it up. Ammonia up, nitrogen. Oxygen is also going up, but our water is going down, which is fine. That's all good. This still tells us we're running out of food. We have 5 days of food, which is better than the 2 days when we landed. Why has our food gone up? That's all. I have to go back and check them numbers. Cause only said we had like 2 days worth of food left. I've only got one Kerbal out. There's no one else. All the rest are in there. So anyway, we our food. We have this working, and the issue to it simply was that when you create these, it doesn't work properly. They are actually created empty, even though they will say things like that's the one we had before, but this one said it was a water electrolysis. There was nothing in it. It was actually empty, so clicking the button did nothing. All I had to do was switch over to a different process, close the window, and then bring it up again, switch back to the process that you wanted, like that one there. Then when I go over to it, the camera at it, when I enable it, running anyway, it fills this up here. Hopefully, I don't know if that will, because that is running there. But well, yeah, you can see here the ammonia. We're on 173, 184, excellent. 127. Yes, that's all going up. No idea if the ammonia in here is going up. It is. So this is plugged into the network, but can't enable the actual greenhouse on it because reasons, I don't know. The reason I'm having to leave this plugged into the network is because I forgot that it actually needs somewhere to store the nitrogen with it. So we'd have to print off another tank for nitrogen storage so that this can break the nitrogen and hydrogen down into ammonia. The only thing it's missing to be completely separate from it. But I am going to head to our greenhouse. I'm going to get Bill inside there, and then I'm going to see if I can deploy it and get it working. Don't know if it will let me or not. This is obviously not where I want to leave it, but just temporarily. I'm up on that. And well done. Grab on. In you get. Cannot board a full module. But why would it be full? Oh, because it has to be deployed first before you can get into it. Yes, of course. And I can't deploy it because it is obviously non-interactive at the moment. It's doing nothing. So this would have to be plugged in the system. I did also notice just there just a minute ago, vessel productivity. Yes, that's same for all of them. Vessel productivity 12.5. Yes. Okay. So that's what there's there. I do need to also make a record of what Kerbals have got high scores and what have got low scores. 25, stupidity 63, because I think the higher stupidity, the worse they actually are. So there. So we're on 12.5. If you would get out, back, have a look. Now on 11.2. So no, it doesn't work. That's not how it used. I'm sure that's how it used to work, but obviously it's not now. Or maybe I'm just completely missing the plot. But anyway, We could plug this in. I should really plug it in, to be honest with you. Too heavy to pick up bits. Yeah, I should really try to plug it in somewhere, because this is the important part. Now we've got ammonia going. This is the important part to grow our crops. So, having to have a look where I want to put it to. There, I think, and then we'll plug it into the network. Just using. You know what? Let's just plug it in right now, shall we? That can go on top there. I think that's probably too far. Find out. Run, Bill, run. Bill certainly is covering a lot of mileage down here on Duna. Yet when you're an engineer, well, that's what you get when you're the best engineer. Jump, Bill, jump. Think. No, it's too far. Oh, really? Really? Okay, we'll go to this leg. There. And get. Turn the RCS on. Up you get. A bit of boost. Link. There we go. Okay, so that would mean we can go back here. And we can enable the greenhouse. Deploy. Okay. And there we go. Now we have food in 200 days, which isn't enough. Our Kerbals are going to die before that. That was 5 days. I'm not sure why that food's gone up. But that is technically the only resource we need to worry about. We can get water. I can always lower the legs on this, and that can drill out and give me water. So it is absolutely possible to make this self-sustaining apart from the food. So yeah, we are actually winning here. This base is an utter mess with pipes and cables and bits and pieces going everywhere, but it does work, strangely enough. It is a little bit laggy in places, particularly after you've been here for a while. That's terrible. End up, like, seriously, the frame rate gets so bad after about an hour worth of gameplay that I can't. When I EVA a Kerbal, they ping off. You probably saw a bit of. No. Oh, Bill, sorry. Don't know what their bones are made of, but it must be some. But yeah, sometimes it just yeah, the Kerbals ping off as you try and get them out. The longer you play for here, the further that ping goes. So yeah, probably the reason why the original deployment base that I had there, probably the reason that went kabooey. It fell through the ground, it went weird. Frame rate was being odd, but overall this is working. We are on nuclear power. I've got 4 years worth of nuclear power with this tiny little reactor in the centre here. I don't think I can afford to lose many more radiators. And sorry, words are failing me for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, I don't think I can afford to lose many more of those or problems. Everything is good apart from water and food. Water can be sorted out by just getting these drills to drop down a bit further. That's going to probably be the next thing. And food, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get to having a constant supply until we get some food storage down here, because for some reason the greenhouses don't have food storage, which I don't even think the greenhouses up on our station do either. A little weird. Well, mind you don't store food in the greenhouse, so no, it's not weird. Yeah, so that's doable, and we also need to build a science rover to get the science, because that's important. I want that. And also I will need to refill. Well, I won't need to refill that. That's completely full of fuel, so all good. We'll have to get another docking port on the back here, and also super glue it on to make sure it doesn't come off, because yeah, it fall off. I don't know. But I do want to kind of remodel the base as it goes. I'm going to follow this sort of thing here. We'll build the base from this. I think so. I'd probably want to get a habitat going with some probe on it, and then I can plug these two into each other, because with all these Kerbals about, it should be fine. I've got, what did I say, 10 Kerbals here, most of which are engineers, so I've not got an issue there. So I can technically lift anything that's up to 10 tons, which wouldn't really be a problem for anything. Even these great big tanks when empty, I think are under 10 tons. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But yeah, so we have the ability to do that sort of thing. And if not, I'm sure I could figure out ways of fitting wheels to them or something. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a base using the planetary base system stuff. I grab down the workshop and the smeltery from up there. Bring them down here as well. Probably bring down the pod here. These big fuel tanks I want to keep, but not in their current incarnation. I'll probably put them on the floor instead. And I also have an idea for bringing this plane in like a plane and then taking it off like a rocket. That's a long way to go yet, so right. All this is going up. We're getting oxygen. Water's going down. So, food will have to wait. We've got 4 days. Okay, let's build something else. So our first protocol is a new construction pad. And I think I click on the ground here, and I believe I've upgraded these this time. Quite a different design, and they should be able to plug into the network like so. Means we can show the UI and well, yeah, they can actually obviously connect to the network and get all the resources required, but the productivity doesn't carry over. So that's kind of going to destroy that idea. That one there, new storage. Bomb. And oh no, it doesn't remotely take rocket parts. Okay, so okay, these do definitely have to be plugged into the actual network. Work. Plug on there. Look at that. Here somewhere. Put it on the bottom rather than on the legs here. You can clearly see this is on a tilt. This one here. The ground must do something different. Mouse at the top there. Running. Yeah. Big on tilt. You can actually see during the day with the way these shadows are now. You can see the landscape falling away that direction. That's clearly up a slope. So yeah, it's not flat. Well, we knew that already, but not anywhere near as flat as I expected. on it. Link the two together. There we are. It is. There's something there on my screen preventing me from putting keyboard inputs in when it's hyperactive. But now I can do the long way around. The drawback about having the base built like this is that the centre of mass is always going to be in the middle of nowhere, so my camera's always going to end up awkward. Nope. Internet work. Tell you what, let's do. I just want to rename the pad. How to? Oh, there. Production pad. We shall call this one. Boom. Oh, sorry. Now I know what's what. And I can build that. Which will take 4 minutes to build, and that's got all my electric screwdrivers and stuff in. I also need to figure out how to get these drills running again. I am kind of thinking I might just grab that there and slap these drills on the side of it. They can be readily mounted, or at least they could in the VAB. I don't know if they can here. Well, that's interesting. It would appear it's something in the centre of my screen. Kerbal's walking there. There, right there. I'm still holding the button. Mouse away. Walking again. So there's something. In the centre of my screen and something up there, which is causing keyboard inputs to not work. Anyway. Unimportant. Too heavy. Okay, so yeah, we would need another Kerbal out here to find out about that. But yeah, I think I might just grab this piece here, and maybe stick it to the end of that, or do something with it, I'm not sure. And just put those stuck on the side of it so that you can drill down. And the idea that would be low enough for them. I think that would work. It is annoying because if you actually look, no ground contact, but if I can do this, it is. You can see they are digging into the ground. They just don't want to accept that that's deep enough. Deploy. Wonderful animation, but yeah, it just doesn't. No contact with ground. So yeah, that's annoying. And there we are. Some time has passed, and our container has been built. Also, we've got a weird thing going on here. It would appear that my construction pad here is now its own separate entity. Yeah, that's I can switch over to this, and that shows me that there, or I can switch down to this. Apparently, it's doing a refinery debris, which using. call it a construction pad, and the but it is still plugged into the network because when I show the UI, it's got productivity. So happened there? Something did. But anyway, that's not the important part. The important part is we have this box now. And by the box, yes, we are full of electric screwdrivers. Excellent. Also, we have a probe on the bottom with a wire, and the reason that is there is one that they rabbit or no. Can't do because there we go. Right, that was going to be for my greenhouse. I don't need it now. Greenhouse in. So, okay, that kinda isn't required anymore. Don't know why I did that. Getting the feeling I'm missing something. So that should be attached to something. I had a plan for it, and now I don't know. That's what I had the plan for. Let's go over to there. So this rover doesn't have a probe on it. It has got an antenna, which I forgot about, but it doesn't have a probe anywhere on it. Or it does now, but that one shouldn't yet. Data. Oh, apparently I can't. Why is that? Because I once again deleted it, which happens a lot. Right there. All the data in there. Over to this and plugged into the network. Is okay. That can stay there. And this probe in my inventory was going to be for this vessel. When no Kerbals are on board with it, very cool. And there. There. Strange. Yes, when Kerbals aren't here, aren't in this vessel, it can't be used for anything. Transferred from the rover. So all the information was inside the actual. Of course it would. But yeah. Right. Here. Hit the upside down. Not what I want. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Yes. So as I was saying, this rover is completely reliant on Kerbals being on board it. You can't do anything with it when there's not a Kerbal on board. So I wanted to put a probe to it so that I could have it follow Kerbals around. I could essentially just have it with MacJab's autopilot. You can double click a person and you can tell it to follow target, and then as I run around with him, this will just follow me about, which is brilliant. Not only does it give me a flatbed truck to drop stuff on, It also gives me a container to store things in. If something pops up, I can jump inside there to get some food or water or whatever. So yeah, it's just a brilliant idea to always have a probe on your vessels, at least on your rovers. Always have some form of remote control on them, because it could be very, very useful. I am going to take this opportunity, however, to drive this rover over, knock it out of the way, over to our ship, and I'm going to attach that docking port to it before I forget. Also, I still can't figure out this solar panel. I don't know why that one solar panel is frozen. I can't repair it, I can't do anything with it at all. It just doesn't work. So I am tempted to just smash it off, but I don't know if it's producing electricity. It could still be. It could still be working, and just the animation is broken to it. I have had a few reloads in between. I think that'll fix it, but nope. But also with a reload, if it is broken, the reload should have actually made it fall away. So not sure what's going on. And Bill can grab that, attach it to that, just like that. There we go. Ooh, no. And now that ship is completely ready to go back to orbital station if it needs to. I am kind of thinking I might as well plug this bit into the end of there, though I don't think lift that. Up here. Every few. Probably because it's full. I've got lots of docking ports in here. The construction ports. I don't know what mod that goes to now, but the ones that allow you to put two things together and then weld them together. But I'd bring loads of them, thinking that would be useful, and now I've got loads of Kerbals. I might just use Kerbal inventories to pick things up and plug them in that way. Yeah, I will plug in this thing. I will need another Kerbal for this, so go and find one. If you've ever wondered if your Kerbals have ever done this, if they're ever sidestepping, and when you press S they walk backwards, rather than turning around, if you just press the Alt key once, you'll discover that E and S will make them actually walk towards you or sideways or whatever. It's very useful when trying to line up for doors and things. It means you can walk in at an angle using just the buttons there, and you can just quickly press Alt and then they will sidestep instead if you need to do that. So I found it very useful for Kerbals. If I press Alt and have them just backspace a little bit, they can normally climb up on things that sometimes disappears. All things many of you probably already know about Kerbal Space Program and only recently discovered, but well, I'm sure I'll help one person out at some point, and well, if I help one person, that's enough. All it takes. Oh, grab another Kerbal. We'll grab stable. Sounds like a nice stable Kerbal. Ah, hello stable, welcome to the space program. Well, not welcome to the space program, obviously you were one of our asteroid people who went to the asteroid and decided to join the space program afterwards. Your first mission obviously is currently a 400-day expedition to Luna. sure was what you exactly signed up for. You well. That and then there. Right. Well, 12. 12 button push 12 S or D's to spin around the right way, and then click. Hope nothing explodes. Apparently it's not. Excellent, that's all good. I will have to get some legs for that bit at the end there, I think. But that's obviously at the moment that's our entrance into our base, and our base consists of giant storage bay, greenhouse, somewhere to put your stuff and somewhere to eat. A bad start for a base. Right, so yeah, this is one of those situations. What I mean, if I walk up to this door here, you will see it says climb and then disappears. And if I try and walk away, obviously he turns around. Then I've got to turn back again and try and press it to line it up, and it disappears again. Whereas if I press Alt just once, just tap it, and then I can back up just a little tiny bit, and that's enough. Climb up, push F again to grab it, and then you get, yeah, as simple as that. You go in the back because a pilot. Oh dear, oh. That is something I've had happen a few times as well. Kerbals stand up when they're just underneath something, and as they flick their heads up, because they do have quite big heads, send whatever it is they're underneath flying. It doesn't appear to matter what the thing is above them weighs, they can just lift it with the power of their head. So yeah, Kerbals are very special little green men and women doing very special things. That line there, he just on top of Bill, that's actually one of the wheels. I think they're right into the pods. But right, so and we have a little bit of this here. This is working. That's the start of the base. Need to bring down things here. But the next thing I think I'm going to build. Can you see that? Can you see that? So, which one of you is moving? This one has 0 millimeters. This one has 2 millimeters a second. You're on the move once again. I bet that's either because I put that there or I put that there. That's annoying. It's not a problem. It's not a problem right now. We'll obviously have to get my Kerbals over here to grab some of these. But that's detached, yet somehow is still registering as being attacked. Network. I'm not really going to complain about it for now. I'm going to use it and happy with it. We do have a command pod here, which I'm tempted to build. But the kind of thing I want another greenhouse. That's probably going to be a good place to go. Build another greenhouse. Is in order. Excuse me. Yeah, I think. Where did I put the greenhouse? Here, wasn't it? But yeah, yeah, I think if we do agree, I have got my science rover sort of prepared to build. That is a lot. That okay. So this is actually bugged. That's not connected right at all. So I'll have to fix that. But yeah, I think for the minute I'm gonna kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit and figure out what I want to do with this base, or I end up. Well, trying to sort this mess out a little bit. I need to bring those bits down and do that. So I'm going to do a little bit of tidying if I can. And then I shall be back. And that will be in the next episode. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope to see you again next time. And until then, as always, have fun.